That was Heavy D. Is it good to you? Well, that depends on who you are. So Donald Trump showed us on Truth Social a post from one of his supporters. He said, and the post says, it's ironic that Christ walked through his greatest persecution the very week that they're trying to steal your property from you. It's interesting because he would try to conflate that to Easter. Jesus was persecuted for our sins, not his misgivings. As a matter of fact, Trump is trying to hold on to his ill-gotten wealth. He lied and was found guilty of lying and fraud. He was found guilty of lying and fraud and now has to pay the price for it. Jesus said that it is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a wealthy man to ever see the kingdom of heaven. And that is because they would do, like most wealthy men, would do evil things to keep and acquire wealth like Donald Trump has done. Jesus, one of the few times that we know that he got angry was when people, bankers, were doing things in his temple. He turned over the tables of the money changers. Isn't that Donald Trump? Isn't that who he is? Jesus told us to be kind to strangers. Donald Trump tells us that they're vermin and they're poisoning our blood and they should be banned. He told us to feed the sick. Donald Trump tells us that we're going to get rid of the Affordable Health Care Act and replace it with something else not to be mentioned. He's something like Jesus. It's interesting how through the history of our recollection of Jesus, he was made in an image he didn't look like. He didn't look like Brad Pitt from Legends of the Fall. He had the skin of brass, hair of lamb's wool. But it's interesting that European people had to create him in their image so that he would be worthy of their worship. And now they're creating Trump in their image. When was Jesus anything like Trump? Let me ask you something. Did Jesus ever raw dog a porn star and then pay her hush money? Was Jesus ever found liable for sexual battery? Was Jesus found liable and guilty of fraud? Did Jesus foment a riot and tell them to attack the Capitol? Did Jesus steal a nation's secrets? Did Jesus tell evil men that these people are all the same? Did Jesus try to steal and lie to win an election and bribe and do all the things Trump has done? Has Jesus done that? Donald Trump is nothing like Jesus, just like the men who say silly things like this and the women who believe silly things like this are nothing like patriots. They don't love Jesus, and those people don't love America. That's a little note from the GED section. Got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It's the D.L. Hughley Show.